The word mosque means place of prostration, a place to humble oneself before God. The mosque has no religious focal point other than the mihrab, or niche, which indicates the direction of Mecca, and thus the direction the faithful should face while praying. It has no furnishings except for prayer mats or rugs. There is no formal clergy in Islam, no person to stand between the worshiper and God. Hypothetically, any Muslim could lead prayers. However, it is usually the leader of the mosque, or imam, who teaches and conducts the services. Mosques are more than just places of worship. They serve as community centers. Here in Ajmer, India, tea is made for the more than 2,000 people who are fed at the mosque each day. Often, schools are found in mosques. Students use the Quran as a standard text for many subjects, since it is considered to be the supreme authority on law, science, and the humanities, as well as on religion. Much can be learned of the traditions of Islam by examining some of its rich artistic heritage. Islamic art grew from the blend of ideas which came from many cultures, which were absorbed during centuries of conquest. However, the influence of the religion, which is the most important of all of the elements in Islamic art, always predominates above all else. One of the expressions of Islamic art is seen in the Arabic language itself. Until the time of the Prophet Muhammad, Arabic was primarily a spoken language and was seldom written down. But then the Quran, the Word of God, was revealed and was written down in this language. In order to read the Quran, the faithful had to learn to read Arabic. In this way, the language spread with the religion. Since Arabic is the sacred language of the Quran, the Word of God, its script is treated as a visual art of the highest order. Calligraphy, literally beautiful writing, is used in the decoration of the interiors and exteriors of buildings, especially mosques. The visual beauty of the verses from the Quran, written in calligraphy, makes any additional pictorial decoration seem unnecessary. However, the loveliest use of calligraphy is reserved for the Quran itself. In much of the Islamic world, pictorial painting generally was and is reserved for representing non-religious themes. When painting religious scenes, the face of the Prophet, in particular, is never painted in, and Allah is never portrayed.
Islam wanted to eliminate all kind of, these kind of things so that people may concentrate on God. Now, God has no form. We cannot imagine him as a human being or anything. So the emphasis became more abstract. The emphasis changed from pictorial representation or emphasis on human beings to more abstraction, so that the infinity of God is represented.
Many Muslims believe that the pictorial representation of the human form, and even of animals, is trespassing upon the realm of Allah. Islamic art tends toward geometric patterns and delicate tracery, as seen on this pierced stone screen, and the decoration on this page of the Quran. This is in marked contrast to Buddhism and Christianity, which both develop strong traditions of representation in religious art. While there is a wealth of beautiful painting that has come from Islamic masters, Muslim artists also created elegant works in other media, such as pottery, glasswork, metalwork, jewelry, and textiles. All were forms of art which were highly developed in the Islamic culture. Perhaps the strongest form of Islamic expression is found in its architecture. From the great mosques to the palaces and tombs of the Mughal rulers of India, Islamic architecture ranks among the finest in the world. The best known of these works, the Taj Mahal, is perhaps the most famous building in the world. Built as a tomb for the wife of Shah Jahan in 1629, it is a masterwork of masons, jewelers, and calligraphers. During the 18th and 19th centuries, there were large declines in the political and military fortunes of Islamic society. By 1850, Europeans dominated all three of the great Muslim empires, the Ottoman in Turkey, the Mughal in India, and the Persian in Iran. The Renaissance, the discovery of the New World, and the Industrial Revolution combined to give Europe the strength to bring much of the Islamic world under its influence. This colonial domination caused a great crisis in the Islamic world. During this time, Muslims began to doubt the power of their faith and their place in the world. The British and the French were in control of Egypt and North Africa, areas which were very steeped in the Islamic religion, its culture, and tradition. The British established themselves in southern Arabia and the Persian Gulf to protect the trade route to India. The Dutch controlled Indonesia, and the British held Singapore. The situation was intolerable to people who for so long had been the proud rulers of so much of the world. By the end of the 19th century, an Islamic Renaissance had begun. It did not gain much momentum until the period between World Wars I and II. After World War II, one previously colonized country after another achieved independence. And today the colonial system has disappeared from the Islamic world. In spite of this, some of the resentment and anger against the West found in Islamic countries dates from the colonial era, and wars continue to break out in the name of protecting the religious beliefs and culture of the Islamic nations. Islam has had a great influence on the world from the earliest days of the faith. Because it has met the spiritual needs of so many people from all walks of life, it has spread rapidly over a large part of the globe. The areas where Islam is strongest are also the areas that are experiencing the fastest population growth. As this trend continues, Islam is destined to grow and to have an ever greater influence on the world and its people.